Hello and welcome to Forbes India's Pathbreakers. I'm Neha Bothra. This is a show where we bring you conversations with change makers and thought leaders. These are people who've created a unique impact in their area of expertise. My guest today is Dr. Velumani, who made thyroid testing available to millions of Indians and in the process created the world's largest thyroid testing center before selling out to PharmEasy last year.
If a man like me have come to this stage, it is because 16 hours in a day, 50 years I have worked without a break of a single day. No holidays.
Ability to work hard.
Stamina.
This is his story of his struggles and his future plans. Dr. Velumani, so good to be speaking with you and meeting you in person after the pandemic in your new home in Bangalore. It's a beautiful home, a beautiful campus. So the last 1 year has been one of too many changes for you. You cut the umbilical cord with Thyrocare. You moved from Bombay, a city you love so much, to Bangalore. Take us through it.
Yeah, and that way the decision was a decision and subsequently everything has to change. The decision imposes that I need to vacate my floor in 5th floor of the company building, and then I didn't know whether to settle in Mumbai or go to Coimbatore or find a way in between. I liked Bengaluru for quite some time, and I didn't have a house in Mumbai, and I thought I will buy my first house in Bengaluru. All three posts, CEO, MD, chairman, everything was me, and today I have no post, no visiting card. So everything is so different, but then having said that, I am enjoying again in a different avatar, in a different location. So it's perfectly, even much better than whatever I imagined.
Has it been an easy change given the close association you had with Thyrocare, how you built the company? Is it easy to let go of a company you've nurtured for nearly 30 years?
Let go is not happening because of some compulsion. It was my own decision. Once you have sold all your stock, you need to look for what next to be done. And all was expected, but nothing was planned. So to that extent, it took a couple of months for me to say bye-bye. I called all my employees in batches and interacted with them, gave them motivation, confidence that you are in younger hands, you are in a tech company, you will certainly prosper. So I think my boys understood it well. But having said that, it must be a totally different environment for them.
Like you said, sir, you didn't need to sell Thyrocare. You chose to sell Thyrocare. Why did you choose to sell Thyrocare?
See, in that way, a journey was a journey. I didn't start a company thinking that I will go for listing. I went for listing. And then I found after listing, a lot of stakeholders' expectations are too high. Having said that, I lost my wife in 2016, just 50 days before my IPO. That was a setback for me. And then next 2-3 years, in fact, made me to realize how dependent I was on her. And then COVID came into picture. And COVID came and my company was the first company in the first list of private laboratories announced for COVID testing. And I scaled up from 400 tests to even 40,000 tests a day. That was, within 8-9 months I scaled up. And then the share price had doubled. And then everything went on well, and at some point of time I felt if somebody is interested in running it, it is the right time to take a call. And I took a call. So it was not one reason, two reason. I am known for taking decisions which everybody questions. If I do something better, bigger, that was a good decision. If I live more happy, more, enjoying, that's a good decision. I'm sure that's a good decision. My children were not very keen to run it in the long run.
Sure.
I innovated that business 27 years back. It went on very well. 25% CAGR for 25 years. So I thought now everybody is copying, everybody has come into picture, let me relax. काफ़ी पैसा तो बनाया, 500 रुपया लेके मुंबई में आया था, तो 3 0 तो मेरा हाथ में एक्स्ट्रा मिला है. ग्रीड और भी ज़रूरत नहीं है. And I just took a call. That call was to in fact surprise everyone.
This was indeed a very good valuation, but there's a lot of difference. You worked on a premise of frugality. That was one big pillar of success for Thyrocare. We see something very different happening in the new age tech space.
So the ecosystem is different. Of course, today's entrepreneurs are different. The current generation is 40 years or 30 years behind me. They were brought up in a different environment. My parents were poor, their parents were not at all poor. In my days, lending was not that easy. Today, you have not only banks lending, you have got enormous support from investors. So it will be different. I won't say that was right, this is right. But what wins will be right, and these all new age entrepreneurs have to prove the victory to justify all their strategies.
So you have proved your formula. You started with a couple of lakhs in 95, 96. You had your first turnover, if I'm right, of 1 crore 3 years later. You listed in 2016. So you had built a business from scratch without investor money, without taking on much debt. I mean, yes, there was private equity money that came in. That was, I think, in 2011. But till then, you had built a substantial business. Now, something very different is happening. Right from Series A, right from the inception of a company, there's a lot of money coming in. So money is clearly not a problem. Idea is not a problem, but we don't really see a solid business plan. We've seen many of them shift gears, shift goalposts. Does that give you confidence? What would your advice be to them?
See, those days were different, and there was no, I should become a listed company very fast, I should encash the cash, or I should give an exit to someone. These things were not there. First 5 years go in setting up the business model. Then my amplification of the business was not 1 to 10 to 100 to 1000. Mine was 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. So I was quite slow. In fact, I have a punchline to add here. Success is never a problem. Sustaining the success is the big problem. And you can't keep on burning without profit, and then later on profits don't come, you are gone. So according to me, you must make a business. In that business, a prototype. You should find profits there, then scale up, burn the profit. This is what I did. In fact, the private equity money in my company had not come inside the company. It was a secondary. I took the cash outside.
Yes.
Zero debt company. In fact, it is going to be a great study if someone takes up how a man without any big investment into the business built a unicorn. So that's a very different way.
Yes.
I don't think I myself can also repeat that. So that was days were different. Those days competition was not there. People had a kind of pricing which I could disrupt. Today the environment is highly competitive. Of course, a few space today also you have enough room to disrupt. Any entrepreneur who identifies that space intelligently can be successful.
So I remember you mentioning that your pressures changed once you listed on exchanges. We see many of these companies in the technology space list in 10 years of existence without having a solid business plan or without delivering profits. What is your take?
There is no law which says you have to make profit or then only you can go for an IPO. People go for an IPO in the beginning itself selling a dream. Now the dream is truly sold with a kind of honesty. Then the guys who get on board will get returns. But then picture दिखाया तो ये लोग फंस जाएंगे. Especially in the last 1 year, a lot of companies which got listed Gaga have lost even 60% of their market cap, and suddenly they stand naked. Now this has given fear to incoming investors. Now IPOs are not happening. But having said that, I don't see that as a crime to look for money without profit.
Okay.
But it is a crime that you know you will never make profit, but you are taking money. It's a crime. But at the same time, if you are innocent that you are not aware that you will never make money, that is stupidity. So you have to have a solid plan.
So you are sitting on a huge cash pile. What next? What are you planning to do with all the money?
Money,
Invest, turn investor.
money should make money, and that is put somewhere into investment and coolly relax somewhere. You will get enough returns. That's one way of doing it. That is the laziest way of doing it. The second way of doing it is look at some of the entrepreneurs who are making sense. As I just now said, ignorance you don't go with, arrogance you don't go with, identify intelligence and go with. And it's very difficult to identify intelligent, let me honestly tell you, because everybody wear the same MBA and same suit. You don't know the difference at all. But the most ideal way for me as a person to do is, I have 40 years of experience of life and 27 years of business. I should identify something which makes sense to me, that it produces employment, it creates a social impact. There is some successful model there, then scale up, because now I have cash to scale up. And then if I see in 5 years, 7 years, it reaches some stage, I will allow it to go. I may not come for an IPO, because going for an IPO is getting into chaotic answering of all the small investors. There are 3 kinds of investors. One man comes today morning, goes evening. Another man comes this month beginning, end of this quarter. Another man comes and wants to remain invested for 25 years. All the 3 expectations are different. अभी किसका जवाब देंगे? उसका देखभाल करेगा, वो परेशान है. But I am 63, and you know, some people tell don't make 5-year plans now, make 1-year plan, because you are not a young man to plan too long.
You're very young, sir, don't worry.
I hope.
Young at heart.
Good, go ahead.
So are you looking at any startups for investment?
Oh, I am very actively involved in understanding the startups. If somebody wants funds, I tell them, gentlemen, whether I give you funds or not, I can engage with you and give you feedback. Some of them have a very vague dream. It's very difficult for them to take it ahead. Some of them have no idea, no experience, no money. They are just out of college. But there are some interesting projects people are having. I haven't still committed to them. I will wait for some more time. I don't want to get in a startup which doesn't produce even a 50 crore turnover. And I have 5 crore profit. I will get in only that period where scaling up is needing money. While we are doing experiment, the guy wants to buy one more costly car and he is looking for funds. If frugality is not there, I am not there in.
All right, sir. But then what looks exciting to you? Because the criteria you just spelled out looks very tough to me. Every startup now is chasing a dream which isn't looking at churning out profits, but it's looking at scaling with someone else's money, you know, cash burn that we spoke about. So what kind of sectors or what kind of startups do you think are, you know, have bucked the trend and are doing something solid?
I don't think today you have a very different situation that you have to burn money. Earlier, all manufacturing companies, you needed to raise a huge infrastructure, you needed money. Today, you don't have cost of infrastructure, you can hire overnight any big office, but at the same time, you need money to reach to the consumer. So, money is needed then also, now also. Then there was no way of raising funds. Today, there is a way of raising fund. In fact, today the investors are more than investees. I look at is again somewhere a business which will produce more jobs, which is more of manufacturing, not more of services.
Okay.
So I am looking at creating an organization where the less educated, more physically working people are involved. I am little convinced about Agri-tech. Okay. Because the country has huge resources of agri lands, huge unemployed people, especially in rural villages. I think getting them to do something meaningful, putting some good infrastructure there, processing food, processing meat, processing whatever agri products are there, it will be something which will make me to feel, because I came from there. I was a son of a farmer. Yes. So when I go back there, they all want to work. Nobody wants free meal.
But knowing you, sir, I don't think you will be happy being a sleeping partner or a financial investor. You'll want a say in running the company, from what I understand from you, sir. So when you say you like agri-tech opportunities, will you don the hat of the MD, the CEO?
The CEO position is not a wise thing for me to now hold, because CEO's job is to fulfill the dream of the board.
So you're happy letting go of the driver's seat to someone else?
The CEO will be someone else. The MD also could be someone else after me being MD for some time. But otherwise, I need to give the margdarshan, the direction in which they should work on. So I won't be resting and relaxing, but at the same time, in the previous avatar, I was working for 16 hours in a day. I probably will work for 6 hours in a day.
Apart from private investments, are you also looking at
Yeah,
public market investments?
I have been investing 1/3 of my money. I have already invested into PharmEasy, that is private equity. Another 1/3 into the stock market. Another 1/3 into real estate. So I have put them in such a way that something makes me richer, if not all.
Okay.
That is only parking for a period of an year or two. I now need to look at where this money can be put in. Have in a rural location, put some 100 crores of investment there and create 5,000 jobs there. There is a prosperity there. So this, if one model works, then I might replicate in 6 locations. It will take 7-8 years to understand, make mistakes, don't repeat mistakes, and then go to the scaling up model.
How does philanthropy fit in with your agenda in the scheme of things? What are the areas that could interest you?
I think those who talk philanthropy don't do philanthropy. They only talk. In my opinion, philanthropy is nothing but don't overcharge. When entire market was charging 600, 700 for a test, I came up with 250 rupees. Philanthropy. Social entrepreneurship, this word was not known then.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship was not known. Social entrepreneurs is a new hybrid word. I have done it long back. What did I do? Charge less. In fact, one day my daughter asked me a question, Dad, are you rich? Yes. What are you going to do with the money? Then I thought, like Bill Gates, like Azim Premji, I will give it to the society. Dad, are you not an idiot? All of them take from the society and give it to the patient. You are taking it from the patient and giving to the society. Wow, what a lesson it was. I came and reduced the rate.
Okay.
I want you to understand what philanthropy it was. When I started my business, the dollar was 25 rupees. My 90% of inputs were only dollars. Trust me, I have reduced the price 3 times when the dollar from 25 gone up 3 times.
Okay.
Philanthropy. Philanthropy में एक punchline बोलता हूँ. If you take less, you get more. And if you take more, you only get less. So I have done it that way. So in fact, I keep discussing with my children and tell them, children, what happens if you plan to do a business without profit? That is philanthropy.
So that is what is driving you
That's
now.
what's driving, because I don't want to make a profit after that village man comes and works with me. I want to make sure it gets back to them. So philanthropy, CSR, everything is creating jobs and getting them dignity and salary without any compromise.
Do you watch movies?
Yes, I used to like Rajinikanth movies. One of the most...
So tell us a dialogue.
Dialogues.
Rajinikanth dialogue, Rajinikanth style.
Rajinikanth dialogue, the most powerful one is, Ya Vali, Tani Vali.
Now please translate it.
जो रास्ता मेरा है वो थोड़ा अलग ही रहेगा.
That is what pathbreakers do. They never retire. They keep reinventing themselves. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So you are a treasure trove when it comes to punchlines. For every answer, for every occasion, you have a punchline. You have a book of sorts. Share some pearls of wisdom with us.
The 3 most popular heroes are Amitabh, Rajinikanth and Salman Khan. These 3 are popular not because of anything else, because of their punchline. So public never remembers the movie, they remember the punchline. मैं एक बार बोलता हूँ तो 1000 बार बोला जैसा. That is in Tamil. ना ஒரு தடவை சொன்னா 100 தடவை சொன்ன மாதிரி. There is nothing on this earth known as good decision. There is a decision. Take it and make it good. Next point which Rajinikanth makes very often is Aandavan solran Arunachalam seiran, which means it is the God who dictates and it is me, Arunachalam, who is doing. Don't ask me anything else.
So do you relate with that?
Lead me or follow me. Don't confuse me. Village is the true university.